This is
Oh, here we are on notRadio. I can't even hear myself. Okay, there we are. There we are. Oh my gosh. Okay, this is a test. I was trying to talk over the intro. This is the first time we've ever tried to go live with this, so we're going to need a little bit of credibility or leniency from the audience here. I am joined with Michael S. Elliott, live from Kelowna, and that his camera turned off. Okay, give me 1 second. Mike, you unmute yourself.
Yeah, I'm good. Okay, but now... There we go.
There you are.
Whoa, look at that. Look
Just
at that
like
giant
that.
melon.
Oh, man. Okay, I'm going to plug myself in.
I don't like so many things in front of my head to it gives a measure of size. Dude's got a big head. It fills the whole screen. It's like 15 times bigger than the microphone.
You move back. It's a 35mm lens on a 1.5 crop sensor, if that means anything to anybody out there.
Yeah, it means you're fancy. It means you're fancy pants. So it is 5:09 in the morning on this beautiful Monday in the beautiful Okanagan, and we're testing notRadio live podcasting. This is exciting.
We're actually live on the internet.
Yeah. Am I going to share this?
What are you sharing?
I'm going to share our live feed to that Alpha Rhythm, right?
Awesome.
You know what else I was thinking, Travis, is that an experiment like this could benefit, like we could take certain things from terrestrial radio.
Yeah.
Like even some of the format. You know how at the bottom of the hour they always talk about what's going on, what's coming up,
right,
what they're talking about. Kind of give like reference throwbacks to keep anybody who's tuning in right at that minute. You know, little what's up.
Are we supposed to look at the camera or?
Yeah, when you want to address people, but I'm looking at you. Should I just look at you?
You're downstairs. I don't know what you're looking at. Are you looking at a TV over there or something? You got my big head.
Yeah, you're right.
Sorry.
Yeah, I guess so. Okay, so there's gonna be a couple bugs to work out.
We're still figuring out where we are in the building in conjunction to one another. So
you got to be genuine with the audience. You got to let them know it's a joke.
This is the third test, eh? I'm gonna pretend that you're over there too. Then.
We can get used to this, but it's a bit weird. But I guess people don't want to see us looking like that, eh? Like the whole time talking to each other.
Just looking off screen. Hey, so.
But you know what? I think actually, to be honest, if I was the audience, I would appreciate authenticity.
True.
Like whenever I'm watching other podcasts, they it's just being like a fly on the wall. But we can take some of those things from radio and television that we really like, some of the other polished up aspects.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of room to play here and to experiment. But again, I just want to reiterate, this is a test. The last time I went live and tried to do a test, it was with a website called Blog TV.
Oh, how'd that go?
It went poorly. I actually had some professional people in my network, and I was like, hey, I'm going to go live. And they joined me, and I found that you could put a cat face on and kind of bobble around. And I didn't know, I had no script. I had no plan. So
okay.
Yeah.
So are you carrying any of that trauma with you right now? Are you worried that we're going to derail and not have anything to talk about?
A little bit, or just blow our credibility right here. So I just want to say this is a test.
Oh, okay. Well, here's the first thing. No one's going to watch this. You know, there's going to be like maybe a dozen people that watch this.
Do we make
right
the
now.
replay live? Do we
keep it on, post the live?
Delete. If you're not here for the live, you missed it.
Well, that's always our option at the end of this to do this. But the thing is, with this kind of work, is it's going to be a slow build. So we can do this later. We can talk about it now. We can find the stats. But the amount of when people log in, it's like after 15 minutes.
It takes 15 minutes to get an audience?
Yeah, and that's like during like peak, the longer you're on, the more you'll attract. So it's not like a television show where you're like, people are going to click it on at a certain time. It's going to be it's going to be raw, real, genuine. We're going to be vulnerable. We're going to invite people to be vulnerable with us. And that's the connection we're going to have with them.
Well, that's way different than media and television, right? Because I'm used to the world of you've got 7 seconds or they're going to use the remote control and you've lost them.
Yeah. So don't worry about it. Just be yourself. Have the same kind of conversations that we always have. That's why I'm excited to do this with you, because we have interesting conversations. We talk about stuff that is really intriguing to me and like-minded people.
Yeah.
And there's no shortage of interesting things going on here in the Valley and the world. So we can find lots of things to talk about. And I'm like undecided if, I like glancing at you, but it just feels better. But I know it looks worse.
Having like a real it's
rapport,
challenging. Yeah.
All right.
You should pull up the live feed, then you can pretend like you're looking at me right on your screen.
Okay, how do I do that? Oh, I just go to I just do what I was doing.
Well, I'd like to say just go to notRadio.net, but
there you go.
I didn't actually update our website. I broke our website tonight.
There we go.
I was trying to get it to work with the live feed and embed Facebook Live right on our website. We use WordPress, and I ended up breaking the theme.
Oh, that'd be cool.
So we'll see if it works right now.
I'm tripped out by the...
Oh, it might actually...
Who's watching this? Is that me? That's me.
I am also watching us. We're our own viewers.
Wow, this is so meta. Let's just stay in this room forever and entertain ourselves.
We don't need an audience.
This is like an episode of Black Mirror. We're just stuck in this room watching ourselves, watching each other live podcast together for eternity.
Oh, no. That's what media comes to. If we're going to teach the kids anything.
Yeah, well, imagine that, because Warhol, he said in the future everyone will be famous for 15 minutes.
Okay.
So imagine, and he was talking about like reality TV and all this stuff, and the pop machine, the pop, culture machine, turning out people and using them quicker and more efficiently and faster and faster and faster. And people's appetites growing with that too, and like needing to have the next 15 minutes of fame after another. But imagine if it just kept going in that direction to the point where everybody's podcasting, like every single human being podcasts, but only like one or two other people will ever watch it. But they still do it because it's just like the way the culture is now. Anyway, that's a good idea. I'm going to start looking at you on the screen there, I think.
That's an interesting concept too, around because you wouldn't have a business model to actually make, or is there one or two? Did you see that Black Mirror episode where people wanted to get famous? They'd have to buy a ticket. They're on the bikes and they just like
no, I didn't
bike, and that was their contribution to society. Like they're generating electricity or something.
Oh, okay.
And they make up money, but a lot of people would spend their money on useless things, like they'd upgrade their avatar.
Oh, I see. That's kind of like that's real life.
Yeah.
Instead of working jobs, they're riding bikes.
Yeah, and then they go to the cafeteria, but they go back to their room. Like the one guy at the end of the day, his room was a wall of screens, so it was like he was trapped inside a TV. And he was at a live event watching the stage performance with the singer, and everybody in their room watching shows up in the audience as one of those like Nintendo Wii characters.
Okay.
And you're just looking around at all these two-dimensional cartoon faces. And that's the audience, but it's people, real people in their room, and they're participating, and they're like, 2 thumbs up, and you'd see the little character with 2 thumbs up.
That show's great, eh?
It was interesting. But that was their striving for. Like, nobody had a chance to get famous. So if you had 15 million credits, you could buy a ticket and get on that stage, potentially, and be on the show and maybe get famous.
What would you do as a talent?
People had different things. Singing was big, popular. I don't want to give away the ending.
Spend all your time riding a bicycle. What kind of talents are you perfecting? Anyway.
Natural talent. Those are the ones. Those are the people that made it.
Naturally born talent. I don't even know if I believe in that. Do you believe in that?
Natural talent?
Naturally, yeah, like just innate talent.
Yeah. Have you not seen these kids online? Like, people are awesome video.
I've seen stuff like that, including a guy who had a brain injury and then started playing piano like a savant.
Yeah.
Stuff like that where like it unlocks the human brain. But I guess so, yeah, I guess that's natural born talent then. But the kid prodigy thing, I have a suspicion that that children learn, like, when you're a baby and you're a child, you learn a lot more efficiently and a lot faster and a lot than, and that ability decreases as you get older.
Right.
So if you start like me, I started learning guitar when I was 16. But if I started learning guitar when I was 6, I'd probably be way better in 4 years than I am now. That's my theory. I don't know. When I have a kid, I'm gonna have 2 kids.
Yeah.
One of them I'm going to not teach anything until he's 16, and the other one I'm gonna train like music while he's like in the womb, and just have that experiment play out my life.
Yeah,
Look at this guy
I
jump.
believe in reincarnation. I feel like there's some people out there that as kids they're just like ready to, like there's one kid I was watching, he was playing guitar better than Stevie Ray Vaughan, it looked like. He's like 8 years old.
Well, and then the other aspect of that too, not only is the I don't know how to describe it, but they're just their mind, the sponge that is their mind is still like new and like really absorbent, so they can learn, especially things that they're really passionate about. But then also, we live in an age where you don't have to grow up and learn licks in a divey bar like every other Friday night by chance meetings with musicians. You can go on YouTube and learn any kind of technique, any kind of style you want. So it makes sense to me that like a 9-year-old kid that can play Hendrix, because he's probably been watching Hendrix videos for most of his life.
Right. He didn't have to invent it.
He didn't have to invent it, make it up, or anything like that, and he didn't have to learn it, like I said, by chance or by encounter or by getting lessons or whatever.
That's interesting. We are like monkeys, right? We learn and we evolve. We learn from each other.
Did you see that one guy would like jump with his hands constantly? Whoa! Yeah, people are awesome. These videos are great.
Yeah.
Crazy. I got distracted.
It's cool because we are capable of so much, and I think we're at a point in our human species evolution that we're learning from all of our ancestors past. Like, this is a great time to be alive. Check this guy out.
Yeah, I know. I keep getting distracted. I want to. What's the 100 monkey thing again?
So the 100th monkey effect. It was these monkeys that were on an island.
That's
and one monkey
right.
went to the ocean, right? And they'd never really gone to the ocean, but this one monkey went to an ocean, found a clamshell, and he ended up hitting it with a rock, cracking it open.
Clever monkey.
And then other monkeys started to see him and do this. And when enough monkeys on this island were cracking open these clamshells, an island, 100 kilometers away, monkeys started going to the ocean and cracking open clamshells.
So is the idea something like suggests there's some kind of field that we're all attached to?
Yeah, that there's this shared collective consciousness, a field, or
that ideas can be translated through, or what's the word? Maybe
transmitted.
Transmitted through traverse.
Yeah, it's like the this noosphere, as filmmaker Ian McKenzie talks about in one of his talks. This noosphere it's like an energy field that we tap into. Our thoughts become waves and energies that.
Oh, did you see that last guy who caught the arrow? Did you catch that? Because that's there's a guy I seen. Oh man, you know what the worst part about this whole podcasting? It's going to reveal how big of an idiot I am. Anyway,
easy on yourself. We want to teach positive reinforcement of self-image, and you are what you believe. And
well, it's also good to be humble and to be like, and to own it. If I screw up a word or have bad grammar, I'm gonna
be real with it.
I'm gonna be real about it. Yeah,
I'm gonna make you a cheat sheet, stick it on the wall. Words you might use today.
But okay, the guy who caught the arrow. Now there's another dude similar. I don't know if you might have seen it, but he like cuts BBs in half with a samurai sword.
Ooh, wow.
And he does it, and they had these high-speed cameras on him in the video I was watching, and they were saying it's like impossible for his nervous system to even register what's going on, so that it's what they suggested is he's doing it on instinct.
Wow.
Right? Like he's doing it on just feel.
Like his eyes could be closed.
Yeah, basically. They're saying like there's no way the human body, well, like what do we really know about the human body? But that's what they were suggesting, that it's like some kind of instinct. And then when that guy caught the arrow in that lab, that certainly looked like he had a blindfold on, shot the arrow, it like bounced around and then came back to him, and he caught it.
Huh. We are capable, I'll just say it one more time, I believe we're capable of so much as human beings.
You see those birds, any birds flying in a flock?
Birds fly, birds of a feather flock together.
That's all you know about birds?
About birds.
Well, it's going on.
What birds? Is this a viral thing? Or
No, sorry, I'm not explaining it properly. In fact, it's boring. It's a boring thing to say. Let's move on to something more exciting.
Save that one up just specifically for this test podcast.
Yeah, I'm getting rid of all the trash material.
By the way, this is not radio. It is a podcast.
Yeah, it's not radio.
We've evolved. It's beyond radio now.
I'm going to need a sock because every time I giggle at my own jokes,
Should I give you this?
No, you need one too, I think.
Do I?
Yeah, I don't know.
This one actually has a built-in pop screen.
Okay.
I don't know if yours does.
It has the mesh, but...
No, this I think is different. This one, it says that this guy is a built-in pop screen.
Okay, I'll take it.
And it usually works pretty good. See, pretty good. Peas. Don't pop your peas.
You're already regretting it, aren't you?
That made my voice sound warmer. Oh, I think we just revealed we're in the same room.
No. You hooked that up with 17 floors.
There's a little pulley system and a robot.
I think they saw your hand in my shot.
It's even worse.
So tell me what's new, Travis. What's new in the world of
new?
Bitcoin? I heard it crashed like a crazy.
It did. And you know what?
What?
The crash in the scheme of Bitcoin crashes, somebody actually made an image, Bitcoin crash comparison chart. That's what I'm going to Google right now because somebody was like, you know what?
There we go.
It's not really in the scheme of crashes.
Why?
It's
Didn't
not
it go
the
from like
biggest.
20,000 to 5,000 or something?
Yeah, it dropped a lot, but this one chart is gonna apparently change the way you look at. Why is this one chart? You know when you find something on the internet, you don't save it, and then you kind of wish that you actually you saved it.
Yeah, I imagine we're going to do a lot of that on this podcast. Where
Yeah.
was that link? What was I trying to find? Okay.
Oh man.
Well, do you want to try to find that link, and I'll talk what's new about music and entertainment?
Let's do that. I'm gonna jump to you for a second.
Woo!
You're gonna take the floor.
Jump into? Are you putting my?
You're up.
Yeah. Are you just taking me right off? Oh, look at that giant melon. Okay. So, well, I through a successful show, Kelowna Busker, through one of its first successful shows at Milk Crate on Friday. And oh man, I can't get over how good Bo. His voice just sounds like an angel. If you haven't checked out Bo Jahura, and I mispronounced his name while I was introducing him. So sorry, Bo, if you're listening out there. It was a nervous tick because I confirmed with him right before I got on stage, and I went over to him and I asked him to give me the proper pronunciation, and then 2 seconds later, screwed it up. So it was just a nervous tick. But everyone was in good spirits. They were loving it. We were all healing from heartbreak. Richard, who owns Milk Crate, was happy with the turnout. So we're going to do more there. But also I went last night to a burlesque poetry show.
Burlesque poetry.
Mm-hmm.
Do tell. What is burlesque poetry?
I wasn't sure until I went. And
words get naked.
Mm-hmm. Get right to the naked truth.
Right, like the words hit home or something like that. Like they're
actually
words.
It's like it's a bunch of naughty poets getting together and just being free spirits. I suppose it's the best way to do it. But there was like other acts. There were dancers, hula hoopers. There's a musical act, Brooklyn Star, who's in the scene right now, and she's gonna get her thing going. What else happened? I don't know. There was like nobody got naked, but there was definitely like burlesque happening.
Burlesque.
Yeah, stripping of clothes and
What
dancing.
is burlesque? It's like a dance. Wasn't it from like the 1930s? That's something to look up.
I think
burlesque
it's like even
back when people wanted to get out of the house, like pre-strip club, right?
Yeah.
Burlesque.
Wow.
Okay, you look that up.
Yeah.
And I've got the
am.
Bitcoin thing, so I'm going to jump in on Bitcoin here for a second. So here we've got all of the horrific Bitcoin crashes from like the beginning. And as you can see in the bottom right corner, the latest one was a 70% drop from December to February. Well, that's huge, right? 70%. But if you look at the second row, back in 2013, there were 2 drops. One was 83% and one was 87%. So it's not even the biggest drop in the history of Bitcoin. but there's been a lot of negative news around it, and like, oh, governments are going to make it illegal or control it. And
Well, yeah, that's going to be the solution they offer for sure. What was that you were saying about Visa not accepting?
yeah, so this is interesting. Visa has, and all the major credit cards actually, they seem to have said they will not accept Bitcoin. Like, if you want to buy Bitcoin,
Yeah.
you can't use a credit card to do it.
That's ridiculous. I wonder, were people? I wonder if they were getting like a lot of fraud going on.
It's I think it goes a little bit deeper than that, and not to start a conspiracy, but
Let's do it. Start it right now. Let the people know.
you got to follow the gold. He who owns the gold makes the rules, and if there's a risk that whoever owns the gold, which is the wealth of the world, is at risk of the masses choosing a different form of gold. Which,
Oh yeah,
you know,
that would be like the only
be like,
thing that ever
"Ah."
frightens them.
yeah. No,
know?
you can't go to another system.
Yeah,
This is how we control the world.
I
And
know. Just pooping their pants over that.
yeah. So that's an interesting conversation to have on Facebook with our IP address. And I'm switching to a tinfoil hat. I don't have a tinfoil hat. The only other hat I have right now is this red cowboy hat. So next week.
Oh, you forgot to switch out when you went to your statistics
I did.
there.
I was supposed to just come back with it.
I really like that hat on you though. With the beard, it
black-
really suits, man.
the
Like
black hat.
you look, if you had like nicely tinted dark shades on,
Yeah. Well,
you'd look like some kind of crazy rock star Amish dude.
we'll
Amish
see.
rock star.
We'll see. Amish rock star. What instrument? Ukulele?
Yeah. It has to be acoustic. I think they don't have it. They just like churn, like a butter churning thing.
Butter tray.
That's their.
Like the washboard.
Sorry, the jokes will get better eventually, right? Especially when we're not so tired. How's your sleep pattern going on, Travis? Are you still like all over the map? I wonder if it's in the air. I wonder if anybody else out there is having like the same kind of issues.
I wonder. You know, there's a filmmaker who was working on a documentary about time, and he was equating the energy patterns we feel and experience match the shifts in energy with the planet and the moon cycles more than just the rhythm of the clock.
Okay.
So when we feel tired, there's periods of ebb and flow where we'll feel tired, we need to rest. I don't feel like going to work today. That could be a very natural point. And then I've got more energy. I feel like getting up in the middle of the night. I can't sleep. And that could be a very natural part of it as well. We just got more energy. Get up. Why not?
Yeah, I'm gonna stop fighting it. And I came to that realization a couple of days ago. Just like I don't have a normal life, I don't have a normal structure, and I want it because you know it's chaos without it. And you know, I think anybody out there who has a job that they don't like and they fantasize about, I don't know, winning the lottery or not doing anything or just staying at home all day and staying in your bed and playing video games, that only feels good for a very short amount of time. And then it feels like hell.
Yeah, like
very quickly.
Was binge watching the last little bit of BoJack Horseman season 4 here.
Oh, you like that show?
I do. It's it got dark.
Oh, did it?
Season 4 ended actually kind of on a positive note, which was great. But it's the writing. It's I laugh.
Okay, yeah.
I like it. Binge watching, you know, it's fun for so long. I was actually enjoying watching one episode a week. Like Riverdale, another show I was into, right?
I heard a lot of good stuff about Riverdale, but I can't give Archie a chance.
No, you can't.
I don't know. I just have too many like corny content. Just I don't know. I've seen too many of the cartoons. I think
Yeah, I hear
the
you.
comics.
Yeah, but it's I like the show.
Apparently
It's
it's
shot in
nothing like
Vancouver. No, it's
It's like a really dark, like drama, teen drama.
yeah.
Or what is it?
basically.
They like solve murders.
Yeah, it's kind of like Scooby Doo,
Okay.
and
They have like a hippie. Oh, I guess that's who's the guy who eats all the burgers?
Jughead.
Jughead. Is he the Shaggy of the series?
No, he's well, Shaggy. Shaggy was like the main character, wasn't he?
Well, yeah, he was
He
just
was
the
the-
pothead though. You know, like the hippie pothead.
Right. No, Jughead's smart. He's a writer, but he's also a gang member.
Oh, wild.
Yeah.
And does he still eat a lot of burgers in the show?
Well, he says in one episode he can always eat, but we don't see him eat.
You don't
every
see
episode.
him eat constant burgers or anything?
No.
They don't even do a little like homage to...
No, in
Food
fact, there was an
Network?
episode where he was so worried about what was going on, he wasn't eating. He was ignoring the buffet.
That's not, you should be Archie fans. You know what that proves is there hasn't ever been a true Archie fan. Because, when they'd be like protesting or like at least throwing up some kind of internet heat.
Well, who knows how long they want this series to go on for, right? Each season could be this chapter, like it's its own novel. I feel like it's there was a novel called The Death of Superman, and it was a really good book. It had like Superman ended up dying, but then there were 4 or 5 different types of Superman that came from it, these like side stories.
Yeah.
And it was a darker novel from Superman, but the potential is there. It's like a graphic novel with
Was it still sanctioned by DC Comics as a Superman thing, or was it
I would
a
imagine
fanfare?
so. They would have to, I would think.
Well, with something like Riverdale, doesn't that feel to you at all just a cop? Like a grab for, they just take something that's a franchise and then completely retool it to the point where the only thing that's the same is the name of the town. And then just so that they can launch, it was probably like a completely different show, like the Cloverfield thing. Do you remember hearing about that?
The Cloverdale thing.
Cloverfield.
Cloverfield.
It's
no.
a shared universe now, where the 3rd movie's coming out. So there was Cloverfield, if you
Yeah.
remember that movie, found footage movie, style movie
I don't know
about
if I saw
a
it,
monster attacking, I don't know, New York or something.
Yeah.
And then Cloverfield Lane came out. And Cloverfield Lane is a completely unrelated movie with completely unrelated characters, but it exists in the same universe. Only when the movie was shot, it didn't actually exist in the same universe per the script. What happened is in the marketing phase, they decided to pair it up and reshoot the ending so that they could have an easier time selling it to an audience. So in like Riverdale's case, it's like the same thing. You take, everyone knows Archie and Riverdale. They know what that means.
Right.
So they might turn it on out of familiarity. Oh, what's this? An Archie show? I'm going to turn this on. But it really has nothing to do with the show or the comics or the storyline or the characters or anything. It's just a blatant grab for, I don't even know what the word is.
Not attention, but
Yeah, I guess.
audience numbers, really,
Yeah.
right? Popular
Ratings.
Ratings.
There you go.
Ratings.
Wow, we really aren't radio.
No, no, that's a 20th century word.
Yeah, now we have to say views.
How many clicks did you
How
get
many
today?
clicks? How many engagements did you get?
Got,
Yeah. By the way, guys, I know no one's listening right now. We got one viewer, and it's me.
one day.
But if we do leave this online and you see it later, give us a like and a love, because that helps a lot. Facebook's algorithm, and not a lot of people know this, so I'm going to talk about this a lot while we podcast. So I think people, if they knew. Oh, what's going on? over there?
I got.
Not a lot of people know this.
Uh-oh.
Okay, that's okay.
Hang on a sec. I gotta mute us. There we go.
But Facebook's algorithm, and the reason I say this again is because I think if more people knew this, they would utilize it to help the people they want to help in their community. Like if you have a local band that you really like, it's important to like and comment and share their posts when they post them. That's like a really important thing that you can do to help them. So it helps get their post in front of other people. I don't think a lot of people know that exactly right now. I think it's Facebook's at the point right now, or shortly will be, where as a small business or an independent artist using Facebook, the only way you're going to actually be able to reach an audience is by paying for Facebook boosts or Facebook ads.
That seems to be the intention. Absolutely.
Yeah. So the only cure to that is if people are educated in the fact that they can help boost the algorithm, help boost the amount of views any particular post gets by just simply clicking or commenting or sharing.
Because that says to your friends that this is interesting, I like this.
And it also tells the Facebook algorithm that this is interesting, worthwhile content that they should promote to other people and put on other people's, because if content, that's their filtering system. If content gets good engagement, then it must be good content. So then they let it go through to more people. If your post doesn't get good engagement, then Facebook's algorithm flags it as bad content, and it doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't get put on any more people's walls or feeds. That's why you start, a little while ago, you started seeing things on your wall that wasn't, it was like posted 6 days ago. You ever get that? It's like right on the top of your feed, but it was like posted a couple of days ago.
Content, so it's really not fresh.
It's not fresh, but what's going on is it's been getting steadily and steadily more likes and more engagement to the point where Facebook kept putting it through to people's walls as new material.
Here, I got a story for you.
What's that?
All right, so The Guardian, all right, which they're looking for donations. They're a free publication.
Oh, yeah? Where's The Guardian out of?
They're out of the UK. So this article has to do with the UK, but they're talking about teenagers and young adults leaving Facebook.
People have been talking about that forever. Well, not forever, but
so it's
hot minute now.
Not Facebook is over 55-year-olds, as younger people go to Snapchat. Is the idea?
Yeah, I've heard that. But then I was actually watching. I was on lynda.com. That's where I was. And I was watching some marketing videos, and the instructor there seemed to think that although millennials are using Facebook less, Facebook's still growing as a medium among millennials.
Like they still have an account.
Yeah, they still have an account, but on average they're using it less, but there's still more people joining all the time. Like it's not shrinking in size. People aren't like deleting their accounts in droves or anything like that. They're just using it less, using other social media as like other social media platforms come into play. The time that you spend on any given platform is going to change. But it's not like people are quitting Facebook. Facebook's still the elephant in the room. Like if you have a small business, you better have a Facebook page because that's one of the first things someone's going to go look for your business on. Yeah,
interestingly, you have more chance getting looked up on Facebook than your normal website.
Absolutely.
These days.
I don't disbelieve it because everyone's super familiar with Facebook. You go to the Facebook page, you know exactly where the about is, what to look for, when to look for it.
Well, possibly though, I kind of part of me wants to challenge what I just said too.
Challenge it. Ding ding ding.
Because how many people actually go up and use the search bar on Facebook? Like, it's one thing to scroll through and see something that somebody shared or posted.
I guess I
want to click on that.
Yeah, I guess I'm just, what is it called, projecting. Because that's what I do. I go to Facebook anytime I see a business, I check it through Facebook first. Go to Facebook, I use that little search bar, punch in the business, and then I check out their page. Especially for bands. That's what I do for bands a lot.
You're doing market research. You just crept into my shot. That's a total blow of our cover. Oh, no.
How did I get into your shot?
I don't know. Your mouse. Right over there. Yeah.
Okay. There we go.
People don't need to know. I'm going to put up some blinds. Red velvet curtain right here.
Don't pay attention to the man behind the curtain. You should watch one of those People Are Awesome videos. Or you know what? Have you ever watched...
You throw something up. I got work to do. Okay. You got 2 beautiful monitors over there that we're not even using. I'm doing all the work here. I got other headlines though. I mean, if we want to go through a couple.
Yeah, let's hear are these
this one's
current?
Not appropriate. Actually, I can't go there. But
what's not appropriate?
You're talking about burlesque. This is a new coin that exists.
Yeah, is it a burlesque coin?
No, it's called Spank coin.
Okay.
That's all I'll say. It's actually clever. You know how the porn industry leads the world in a lot of cases, or technology, the internet?
Well, I guess so, yeah.
So they've become very innovative with the coin. I won't go into the details, but it's like webcam people. It's a way of paying, and it stays within their ecosystem. They don't have to worry about banks shutting down their bank accounts and all this.
Oh, I didn't know that was a problem. Why? Is cam girls illegal? Is that?
Maybe it's a gray area. I don't know. It's maybe frowned upon in certain communities. It's like what I was saying with, this is probably behind the scenes I was saying this, but Twitch. Now, it has a dress code, right? So you can't Twitch dress. See, there's only 2 of us here. If we had a producer, maybe I could look this stuff up while talking, and it could flow a lot smoother.
Well, as I recall, you can't sell your body on Twitch anymore.
You can't.
Right? You can't play video games in bras and stuff. There's a dress code so that people aren't siphoning off they're trying to like grow their social media accounts, or that's just the assumption we came to, right?
Right.
Maybe it's just like a slew of girls who just want to be comfortable in front of their cameras.
Well, this is the article. It's from The Sun, and it says Twitch bikini streamer girls are banned thanks to the new dress code for game live streams.
See, the internet is shrinking. We've experienced the best, the freest days of the internet are behind us. Remember when YouTube didn't have advertisements?
Yeah.
What a golden era that was. What a golden era.
Facebook as well, before they had advertisements, before everybody. But we knew advertising was going to be the way to go. So now it's a crackdown to make the web more family friendly.
Okay.
Right? And Facebook taking a more serious, active role, apparently, in news. So it's not fake news, but trying to have a say in what we see. But that is a slippery slope. I'm sure as we talk to people in the journalism field on our show, that it is a dangerous slope to begin to filter the content and to declare that we know what's best and we know what's true or not. How can you take that stance? How do you...
Yeah, it's like the Ministry of Truth.
Right.
Who's going to tell you what the truth is? That's for us to decipher. What we need is we need to actually have media outlets that are dependable and objective, dependably objective. But we, just don't have that. Oh, I just left my Facebook page open on the live feed. Oh, you're not showing any of that. I'll get used to this.
I'm also trying to figure out how to embed our live feed on our website, which is a whole new feed.
Travis, I got this guy playing guitar on my feed over here.
Yeah.
If I blow him up and turn on the sound, is that sound going to be transferred off this computer into our podcast?
Indeed, it should be. It's going to be... Whoa.
Sorry. I'll just turn it down.
So if you hit F11 on your keyboard,
yeah,
it takes that full screen. Do you want to just mute him for a second? Actually, you know what? You've got the audio board beside you, so you can get really fancy.
Okay.
And just slide up number 5. Yeah. So bring it down, and then we can try and coordinate a cue, and I can cut to your screen while you bring them up.
Okay.
Right.
Cue.
What, like 3, 2?
3, 2, cue.
All right, he's up. Wow.
No, because the delay, right?
Yeah, that looks impressive.
Are we just frozen there?
No, it's not frozen, but that's wild. Maybe we should try your other monitor. Well, we've never tried anything that intense.
Is that what you're talking about? Oh, okay. Yeah.
We don't have the gear yet to actually take feeds between our computers.
Oh, I see.
So this is running through our network.
Yeah. Oh, I see. Can you try? I guess you've already played videos on your end.
Whereas, if I get your camera up on there, well, I've never actually tried this. I can play videos from my computer, no problem, because they're straight off my computer.
Yeah, but you did play that Everybody's Awesome stuff.
Yeah, so we might have to do that where, unfortunately, it's one more task.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
That I'm going to have to do here.
Okay,
so... that looks okay. Try going full screen again. It must just be clogging the bandwidth. Or we've got to sit on your computer first for a minute. No, there it goes.
Is it the same thing?
Yeah, but if you exit full screen... This is good. If you exit full screen.
Oh yeah, it works.
And then hit hold control on the keyboard and mouse scroll wheel up over that window. It zooms in. Do you understand what I'm saying? Hold control on the keyboard while you do that.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Zoom in though. Yeah, the other way. Make it super, super big. Even bigger, like you're on a phone. Or no, that's pretty good, I guess. Hey, wait a minute. Oh, it went all shady again.
Yeah, you below.
Oh, there it goes. There it goes.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, can you move it to the left?
Yeah, I think I can.
We'll get the hang of this yet, eh? There you go.
What did I do over here, though? Oh, it blew up both of my screens.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you got to use a different browser then. So for one, hit that Windows key on the keyboard again, and then start typing Fire. Firefox should pop up, and you can hit enter and use that to browse in. So then you get...
Okay.
Oh, we cut back to the behind the scenes, back to the So
It's the man in the black hat.
when you see me, something's wrong.
Does it automatically shoot to you if something's wrong?
No, that'd be great. I mean,
What's
I need
going
a
on
panic
here?
button.
Okay, here we go.
But this is so that pops up because once again we're low budget. So the camera, I gotta reset so it doesn't turn off. That's all in good fun. This is our test.
Oh yeah. Okay. I don't know what I'm doing. I gotta use it.
There you go. You got two different windows up. Well, you can always then put us up in the top. I'm trying to direct you here to say like, okay, take that screen, put it up on your third monitor, right?
Hang on.
Anything you want to monitor, stick up above you so it doesn't impede your view. That's what I'm
There we
trying
go.
to say. And our website doesn't want to do iframes and all this. But, you know, we'll get there. How long have we been on for, anyway?
49 minutes. Oh,
Nice.
well, 40 minutes.
Still one viewer?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. We'll get some viewers in there. We'll get some viewers in there eventually. We'll remember that, too. We'll remember all of this.
How do we have 5 video views?
Maybe there's been more than one viewer.
Like people have just jumped on and jumped off?
Scrolled
Like,
by, yeah, scrolled by the window.
okay, no, this is not.
Sometimes the view statistics are misleading. You really got to read the descriptions of them because, you know, it'll tell you it has like thousands of views, and then you read it and you're like, oh, this actually only has 800 views.
Ah.
So it's probably just people scrolling.
So, yeah, I'm listening.
Scrolling through their feed and they see the video, but they don't actually click on it or hear any sound.
As we grow and evolve in this podcast, we're going to get more organized, right, with our scheduled lineup. Because whether you end up watching, we break this into pieces too, right? We can have, cut after an hour. We can have our 15-minute news headlines for the day, and then that can go out as one video piece, one podcast piece. This is a different experience, though, than doing just the podcast, hey?
It is, yeah. It's a different beast and it's a different experience. Do you watch the Joe Rogan Experience or any kind of lengthy podcast like that?
I've just briefly have tuned in. It's either I don't have the attention span or I find it hard. There's so many things to listen to and take in that I find that challenging.
That's true.
Once I've gotten the gist of something, I feel like that's good. And then the next piece of information arises as it needs to. But I haven't really locked myself or committed myself to one show.
Well, if you did watch them, you'd see the unpolished rawness of it is part of the allure. It's like the genuineness, right? The difference between having an interview on a podcast and an interview on any kind of television program is that the television program is like has to cut everything up into segments and fit things into a format, and it takes away all the genuine, there's no genuine conversations on late night television. They're all staged and all manipulated and controlled. Whereas when you're watching a podcast or tuning into a podcast, it's just a natural, raw conversation between two people that's hopefully interesting.
Right.
That's the part where you just got to focus on is keep it interesting, having things to say, things to talk about, local music, local art and the scene here. Have you been into the Innovation Building?
Yeah, the
Innovation Center and for...
Indeed. The
What's it
Accelerate
like?
Okanagan is located in there.
Okay. So it's just a bunch of places.
There's a bunch of businesses, and I think there's a new art center in town too, though. But if you're thinking of the Center for Technology and Innovation, I believe that's where Accelerate Okanagan is located. Yeah, I'd say that so far this has been a successful test. There's more things to work out on, and most people are going to start their day, and I'm going to go have a nap.
Yeah, you getting tired? You feeling it?
I'm
5:53.
I haven't been drinking coffee right now, and I haven't been drinking it as much as I would like because I don't want to advertise
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to cut to you for a second and drink my coffee.
Oh, I'm drinking coffee sometimes too. Okay.
Canadians, we've got this very distinct. I know exactly what coffee place that is.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
it's Tim Hortons.
I gotta say though, I appreciate what you were just saying about the natural flow of things, right? Having some interesting things to say. I feel like in the future, which we're in right now, by the way,
Okay.
the jobs, the roles that we all play for society are going to be.
I forgot I was on camera.
Oh man, you just that's it.
I just yawned, open my big mouth. Yeah.
But that the roles for the future are going to be determined by almost intuitively, right? It's not the same as the days of going through the newspaper and finding a job, because a lot of the jobs that we've had support industries that are dissolving, that are changing because of technology, and new jobs are arising. Something interesting happened last week where the stock market crashed, and it was, some people said it was comparable to like the 1930s crash or the 2008 crash. And yeah, life goes on. Like, maybe there were some people out in the streets this was a big concern, but some of the cryptocurrencies actually started to go up at the same time, and it's an interesting correlation that we live in this internet economy, and there's room for new opportunities that aren't as apparent as the traditional world that we lived in, because media, press, right, TV, it's not giving the coverage that a lot of these projects deserve. That,
well, we don't need them either. We don't need like the centralized media anymore.
but we still need to, in a sense, know what's going on, right? It helps to have a source of information.
Sure, but we have global instant communication.
How
We
do
can
you-
find out what's going on in Mali right now if we just went to a forum.
True. But then now I got to ask the question, what do you want to stay informed of?
Well, that's the thing. You need curators that you trust, so that, because there's obviously a whole world of information out there. It's not healthy for the human mind, I don't think, to absorb like global events on the scale that we absorb them today. I don't think that's healthy. I think that it puts you in a certain state of fear response. You know, if you wake up every day and you're learning about tragedies that happened on the other side of the globe, and like how many people died in this earthquake and how many people died in that, and how many days left we have on the doomsday clock before the oceans get completely clogged up with plastic, you know? You start, and I'm not saying the answer is to turn a blind eye. The answer is to just focus on your own actions in your own everyday, and understand that every choice you make, you're deciding with every choice you make whether to bring the world, you know, closer to hell or closer to heaven. Every decision you make individually, right? So that's where your focus should be, and is in the moment in every decision. It shouldn't be distracted and overwhelmed by thinking about, you know, I don't know, like the Fukushima plant poisoning half the planet. Although that's concerning. I'm not saying it's not concerning and we should ignore it. You know what am I making sense? Or
Yeah, I think that's a really good point to make, just to reiterate, to reaffirm and reassure people that you really, it is, and I just heard this recently, it's one to change the world. Because your conscious mind and what you create based on whether you're living from love or fear ripples outward, and it not only creates your reality, but it impacts the reality of everybody else on the planet. So yeah, I'm glad you said that, because to reinforce that gives us a sense of purpose for this podcast and the content we can curate here, but also the service we can provide for people out in the world.
Well, let's close out with that. What kind of services do you want to provide the people watching us and the crew that we're going to
amass? I would love to make people's lives easier, more peaceful and happy by curating content. That the problem I have, that I would love somebody to do, maybe that's part of the reason I feel drawn to this, is I feel overwhelmed by the amount of information out there, and I want to stay informed, and I want to stay involved, and I want to know what I can do to contribute, or what's going on that help me make informed decisions on a daily basis. And it becomes overwhelming to try and stay on top of all this information. And if there was somewhere I could go, a place that I could trust, a resource that I could come to on a daily basis to get updated quickly and efficiently, and somewhere I can also go just to once in a while check out. By check out, I mean I just want to sit back on the couch and get entertained for 10 or 15 minutes.
Gotcha.
You know, high quality entertainment, high vibrating content.
Yeah. So what does that sound like to you? What are some things that you use as just entertainment?
Well, right now Netflix, and
like Black Mirror isn't high vibration.
No. So I don't.
Sometimes
don't know.
it has I don't know. It makes you think.
Yeah. It doesn't always end on an up.
No, but is that what high vibration really means, or does it mean just like raising the consciousness? Because if you can classify a Black Mirror in that category if you look beyond it, because it's trying to teach lessons. It's trying to teach. It's like fables about perils of what could be.
Yeah.
Right. Like certain things, like that one episode where the mother coddles her daughter, and like installs the chip that makes her not see anything that's like harmful.
Ended kind of brutal ending, but
yeah, super brutal ending, but like it's about warning against that kind of thing.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'm a fan of the things that get us to think. We need to think critically, and anything that can also inspire us to be out in the world with people and engaging with people around us, I think is going to be beneficial at this time. But high vibrating doesn't. There is conflict in our world, and I think one of the Buddhist philosophies is to look at everything. You know, you don't, just because something is rotting or dying or decaying, you don't ignore death just because it's gruesome or scary. Yeah, it's, you look at it and just have an objective, even an open mind, and be able to look at every part of this world, maybe without judgment or attachment. And anything that allows us to do that in a way that isn't sensational, isn't extreme, isn't trying to. Somebody I was just talking to that worked in the ad industry for a number of years called it soulless. He said the ad industry is soulless. And I get that. It's all about driving viewers' eyeballs, using really talented, creative artists to drive people's eyeballs to brands specifically for the purpose of making money, regardless of what that brand does to the planet.
Now, do you think there's people out there, artists or creative types, that feel similar to how maybe the scientists who work on the Manhattan Project felt? Maybe not to this, that's a drastic example, but you know how a lot of people who worked on that project, the Manhattan Project,
well, Facebook cut us off.
Oh, really?
I think so. Oh, it's lagging or something.
Something's going on. We mentioned the Manhattan Project and we got booted off the internet.
You're picking up on keywords already.
Yeah. But should I finish my thought, or we should wait?
No, do it. I don't know what's going on with the live stream.
It just jumped?
Well, how, is it working for you?
Yeah, it's not working for you?
I can refresh my page.
Okay,
so Manhattan Project.
Yeah, well, the scientists that worked on it, the thing that the government did that was actually really clever is they compartmentalized all of the elements of the project. So a lot of scientists who were working on it and were integral to the design and the research and development of the atom bomb, they didn't even know what they were working on. And then when it came out that that's what they were working on, a lot of them were filled with guilt and dread, and all their talents and their skills were used for such devastating disaster and destruction. And then I was saying, wouldn't that be, if you'd think some like creative types, like some artists out there who've made great works of art that have been like co-opted by companies or corporations that are responsible for great harm on the planet, do you think they have similar regrets? Like they thought they were just, making a secure business investment by like licensing their song to whatever Nestle problem, something like that, and then they found out some heinous stuff was going on and they can't do anything, and then every time they hear that commercial with their song playing in the background, they just get like, oh.
Yeah.
It's got to happen. That's a scenario that's happened before, probably, right? You'd imagine that.
Well, there's like articles right now that are coming out about Facebook and different executives that are feeling guilty for what they built. Like they had built this company that really is designed to keep us watching.
Oh yeah.
You know, for more, it's like the gamification that's really built so that we stay on longer, and people are realizing how unhealthy it is, or the effect it's having on our families, or just our well-being. And we're becoming aware of this as a society, but at the same time, we almost just have to experience it to know. But something a little bit deeper to that is we need to be having these conversations, and I think that's a part of what we're doing here on notRadio. And when we get to start bringing guests on, that we can have these conversations deeper. And even if we get a small audience, right? Let's say we have an audience of 1,000 or 2,000 people, or even if it goes up to say 10, 20,000 people, in the scheme of things, that's relatively small. It means that other hosts like us will be having conversations with other people. It's like if we were having a barbecue and we invited all our friends over and we start talking about these things going on in the world and sharing our ideas, that there's a ripple out effect. Just like our thoughts individually, we're now able to talk about these things that we feel are important to talk about as a society, and there's the butterfly effect, that 100th monkey effect eventually, right, that kicks in. So in small groups on the internet, especially now here, we're able to reach slightly larger ponds, slightly larger groups of people, but we have to disseminate this information. We got to talk about it in order for it to have lasting impact and change.
It's true. And I think the thing that works against that the most is that people assume, or they have this idea that their influence, their realm of influence, is a lot smaller than it actually is, right? You talk about a world that has billions of people in it, and you go, well, I'm just one person. Why, like, what can I do to affect any kind of real change? But the actual math behind it doesn't support that. And, you know, to make an example of it, man, I set myself up to do math after 24 hours of not sleeping. But anyway, say you have 1,000 connections in your life, or somewhere around that. Let's just round that number off. You have 1,000 connections in your life, 1,000 people you meet and you talk to and you influence. Those 1,000 people have 1,000. Those 1,000 people then have another 1,000. It's not long until you're up into, a huge chunk of the population.
Right.
What you do to other people, in negative and positive, has a larger rippling effect than you realize. And I think that's what allows people to be crude and mean to each other, and then also allows them to be apathetic when discussing, problems or the state of the world.
With the idea that we're small, and what I say might not really...
Yeah, and that we don't have any kind of real influence because we're just a small, tiny little drop in the huge ocean.
True. I got an interesting point about the insignificance, but I want to share this quote briefly. The one to change... I saw this written at the Naked Cafe here in Kelowna, actually.
Oh, groovy.
It's painted on the wall. One to change a few to change many, many to change the world. Starts with one.
Oh, yeah, I like that.
And there's this amazing ripple out effect, right, that it has when we just change basically ourselves, and others see that can be really inspirational, and it can have this effect on just a few. And if just a few feel inspired or change, it reaches out even further, has an effect on many.
Yeah. I got a question about that anonymous quote.
Yeah.
Why don't you think more people just don't take credit for anonymous quotes? Like, what if I just said to you, like, oh, that's my quote. I said
we just
that.
change the name on that?
Yeah. Like, who's gonna sue us?
That's
anyway.
Interesting.
I don't know why anonymous quotes exist. Why wouldn't you, if you see something that's really nice like that and it says anonymous, you just switch your name out for it. There you go. All of a sudden you're a literary genius. I can't even speak.
That's interesting. Like, you're just here. Let's see if I can do this.
You gonna change it?
Yeah, I'm gonna just drop your name right here.
That's great.
Whoa, what was that?
Oh, that was me.
Oh man. All right, we're learning.
I'll bring that cable plus some headphones next time.
Oh, that was the cable. Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, I remember saying that. That's great.
That's funny. So, okay, the insignificant piece. So on CBC Radio this week, they were talking to one of the astronauts, and she went up into space and was talking about how significant we are. But one of the first astronauts to go up into space, one of the first Apollo missions, they talked about how insignificant we are as people.
Okay.
But she was likening it to not that we're insignificant in the term of meaningless, but we're insignificant in the scope of the universe, like how the potential, there's so much out there that it was like a humbling expression.
Okay.
From the 50s and 60s that these, astronauts were referring to, like, let's humble ourselves. We're insignificant in the scheme of things. But the insignificance of the experience is also met with the significance of how, like, she basically said, it's like we're here for a reason. Like there's something special about the Earth here at this particular spot in the universe, and that there's life, conscious life on this planet, and that we're having these conversations and that we get to experience this. That's very significant. And so whether you're just one person in the drop of the human existence right now, your existence is meaningful in the scheme of the human experience.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. And I've also heard from a few different people now that the odds of just being born are like insanely astronomical.
You mean as a spirit?
Well, like just as
energy?
the all the chances that it had to happen the right way for you to be born.
So just the factors of not being miscarried and that sperm.
Yeah,
hit
and
that
even
egg
back,
and
even all the way back to the creation of the planet and the solar system, and how everything, like, just all that stacked together to bring you, Travis, to this point where you're sitting in front of a computer.
Wow.
Is beyond computation. Well, maybe I'm tired. It's not beyond computation. That's obviously how people got those numbers.
It's like 10 to the 500th hour.
Yeah. Anyway, that's a full hour, Travis.
Well, then let's leave people with that no matter where you are on this planet, you are not insignificant, but you have something also unique to bring to the planet. All of your experiences add up to you being one unique snowflake, one unique being on this planet, and we want to cherish that.
But we don't want to hear your complaining, though.
No, but you'd be 1 out of 7 billion who start your own YouTube channel.
Crazy.
All right.
That was interesting. Thanks everybody. I don't know if you'll see it.
We hit an hour, eh? Now we're a little over, but
a little over an hour. Yeah.
Cool. Off-screen high five. All right. I don't have any outro music.
Yeah.
We don't have credit music.